All right, let's just begin this chapter. So I've encountered a very unfortunate scenario today. As you can see, Blender crashes and prevents me from opening the file all of a sudden. This is probably due to how I'm dealing with 3 Matplus set materials in one scene, and on top of that, each of these materials are dealing with multiple UDIMs, totaling up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, right? 10 texture tiles. I was warned in the beginning not to do this and separate the Blender files from the creators of Matplus and the Discord channel, but yeah, I mean, things were working fine outside of the occasional lag that you might have caught from previous chapters. So yeah, I just kept going. But I finally hit the wall, and I'm feeling the consequences now. Yeah, I guess this is pretty heavy stuff. I don't even know if Substance can deal with something like this either. I know this is more of an uncommon problem for most, but I got all the helps from BFX Discord channel and found a solution and thought it'd be important to show. So let's talk about the workaround. So let me just give you guys a quick rundown of what I believe happened. So basically, whenever you start a new Matplus project, you see with this screenshot of the crashed file, you will start a folder, right? And you'll name it. And in my case, I named it Soulbake, and then within that, I have these projects, the 3 materials with the UDIMs, right? And this one big folder with all these textures are just too heavy. It's just too much for Blender, and Blender's like, screw this, I don't want to do this anymore. So the plan is to basically separate each of these folders into different outside of the folder, because the folder is created within where the project is allocated. So in my case, where is it? Edit, preference, under Matplus. So you can see my root project is under D drive, Matplus project. Okay, so if I start a new project, it will go to this Matplus project, which is here. And then within this, there is the Soulbake folder. So here is where I have my Matplus project inside the hard drive. This Soulbake folder is basically the heavy one, right? So what I ended up doing was first compacted to have the backup just in case, so you don't lose it. So I made 3 of these folders: Soulbake Matplus 1, Matplus 2, Matplus 3, right? And what I did was go inside the main project folder and copy each one of these guys. So I copied Matplus 1 and then pasted inside this Soulbake Matplus 1 folder, okay? Matplus 1. And then basically I did the same thing, Matplus 2 and then Matplus 3. Alright, so once you do that, I am going to get rid of this main folder. Again, I have the backup right here. And then went to my file, the one that kept crashing, which is this one right here. And that should open it. Okay, so just give that a second. So here we have it, it's open now, no more crash, but as you can see, the texture is completely gone, right? That's because, again, I deleted that Soulbake main folder, and basically this is project list. So from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open a project and go to that, where was it? Matplus project, and then let's start off with Matplus 01, okay? So I'm gonna open this, and then just open it again, and then that should just load the body onto here. Okay, so just give that a second. Oh, and another thing, I am gonna get rid of the high as well because I don't need it. So delete hierarchy. Okay, so there you go. I have the body, which works fine, right? We still got this yellow decal. If I turn on and off, still works. So what I want to do next is I am going to delete all the unnecessary parts, so all these guys, and just keep it body, okay? And also no high poly. So we got this body part, and then because there's no hand or organic, this is unnecessary. And I'm gonna save this, not save it on here, okay? Just be careful not to save it on the backup or the crashed one. You want to make a new file, save as, and then I have it already split, but then basically split it into 3 different Blender files. So I'm gonna just save it over this, and there you have it, body. So now I'm just gonna Control Z, 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 Z. Okay, just kind of go back until I don't have those. I go back to the previous, or I could just reopen it again. Maybe that might have been a good idea. But just yeah, go back to fresh project, right? And open the project again. Go back to the second one, and then just open this and do a repeat. All right. So I don't need any of these guys. I don't need any of these. Don't need this. Don't need this. And this one's organic. Just gonna keep it organic. And then oh, that's right. I need to delete the high. And then yeah. So again, save this as the organic. Okay. So yeah, just basically do that for all 3. And yeah, let's move on to the next part. Alright, so there you have it. I have 3 different Blender files with different material sets, right? And I probably don't need these guys, so I could just remove it here. Just be careful not to click on this guy, this remove, because that's gonna get rid of this, you know, this new material from the hard drive, so don't do that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, good thing that I, you know, pretty much did the overall texturing in one file so that everything's kind of cohesive. But again, like let's say if I do a big change right here and want to bring it into the hand, what I would do is just click on the smart material tab right here, right? And that would create the smart material, and then I should be able to re-import it into here. So yeah, like other than that, I just keep going at it and just finish the texturing with all 3 parts. All right. Now, I don't recommend you guys working while having 3 of these files open like this. I'm just doing this because for my video's sake. But let's say we are done with this texture, right? This is where I want to unload or make things a little more lighter, because I'm done with texturing, and I would like to kind of make things a little lighter and bring everything into one scene. So this is where I want to export the scene, which is by selecting here, and then you want to choose the output path. Okay, so I have it saved to this location, and as you can see, if I were to open it, I already exported the body and the hand, so I just need to do the organic ones. So this part. So I have it set to this location, and then resolution, I want it pretty high, so 4K. And as for the outputs, I don't think I need height, just because normal height is included in normal, so that's pretty good. And this is the part that's really nice. So when you export the texture, this just exports it, right? But if you export and create new material, that will create a whole new material to just apply onto this. Because if you might have remembered, if I were to go to shader, as you can see, just for this guy, right, just for this Matplus texture, it is just rows and rows, trains worth of nodes, right? And this is what's basically creating the lag and the crash. So basically, by exporting it as a new material, that is going to simplify this node. So it's really nice. So let's go with this option. Okay, so I'm gonna click on this. It's gonna take a bit, so let's just let this marinate for a bit. Okay, so create new material. Alright, so now that things are exported, so this is the old shader, right? Just this crazy line. So before I apply the new one, let me save this into a new file, because I still do want to keep the Matplus texture in case I want to go back to adjust the texture. So I'm going to call this Organic 2. Okay, so I have the backup file. Alright, so now that I have Organic 2, what I'm going to do is I have a mesh selected, go to this material, and you can see this new exported texture right here. All right, so I'm just gonna click on that, and boom, look at that, nice and clean, right? Just an easy node that anyone could understand how this works. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, this is it. I'm just gonna save it, and I'm gonna just do that with the other files. So like, see, I have the body right here, and I already applied the texture, so the exported texture. And oh, I kind of noticed that the emissions turned off. Let's check out what's happening now that the shader is a lot more simple. Let's see, so emission is right here, right? So emission, oh yeah, right here. So let's see what's open up. Yeah, basically the emission is turned to 0. So all I gotta do is just crank that into 1, or I could just bump it up to however strength I want to make it super strong, right? So let's say like 100, boom. It's like, can't tell, but if I go to cycles rendering, then it should be a lot more easier to tell. Well, I need a scene in this world first, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna keep it 1 for now. I believe I had emission on this guy too, or I guess it changed every, yeah. So yeah, all the emissions are on, so perfect. So that is about it, and all I gotta do now is just copy these guys, copy, and bring all into one scene. Paste. Alright, cool. So look at that. So I have this. Now I still need to export the hands, so I'm gonna do that next. But yeah, so I got the body, I got the hip, and this one I'm gonna call it like everything all. Okay, save as, and this is where everything is gonna come here. So I'll call it all. Let's see, all underscore 01. All right, cool. Alright, so got the hand in, and yeah, all in all, despite the hiccup that we encountered with the crash in the beginning, everything worked out surprisingly. Okay, so yeah, this next up, we are going to assemble these pieces like Lego. But before I do that, I want to go back to this model right here and bring in this mesh to play around with it later on. Okay, so let me do that by Z plugin, export it, and export it into the folder. All right, so I kind of already exported it in, so I'm gonna go back to Blender, go to there, file, import FBX, and where did I put it? Okay, top. All right, so got her in, and this will actually work as a good wireframe for me to puzzle these pieces together in too. Alright, so I also brought the foot in here, but now what I'm going to do is basically scooch these arms inside these wireframe, even these like organic parts. So to do that, what I'm going to do is kind of drop the alpha of this mannequin. And then, now that you can see, I am going to start splitting things actually. So I'm going to select this one first. Or actually, maybe I might be able to work symmetrically. Okay, so I'm gonna just select it, and then yeah, I guess I could work symmetrically on this. So I'm gonna just do that. Might be easier because I have symmetry modifier or symmetry turned on right here. So yeah, just making sure things are in there and nothing's popping up. Something like that maybe. Okay, just kind of relatively in, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna do that with the hand. And another thing I just kind of noticed is that if I were to see some of these pieces kind of lodging out, again, I'm gonna fix it later on, but like here, for instance, I'm just gonna select it, make sure symmetry is turned on, then turn the proportion editing. Oh, I guess it doesn't really do it. Huh, interesting. Some does it, but some don't. What I could do is mirror modifier. Okay, what I could also do is I could just Alt X, mirror modifier this. Oops. Object set origin to geometry, and then cursor to selected, mirror modifier that, so that I could just work on it proportionally like this. So I could do that. So same with here. this leg, I select it, vertices maybe, and then just kind of scooch it. So everything is kind of sticked in, okay? And later on, I'm gonna have to fix all these, like all this area right here. I will have to scooch it so it will fit, okay? So something like that, right? But for now, I'm gonna be working on the hand, all right? So let's keep going. Other thing I want to do are these bolts right here, or I mean this bolt. So now that I have everything baked and ready with the texture, I'm gonna separate this by just isolating it, and then object set origin to geometry, or I guess I didn't need to do that. And what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I'm gonna press Control R and just kind of scooch around here-ish, and then cursor. And while I have that, cursor to selected, and then object set origin to 3D cursor. Okay, so as you can see, it's not really all the way in the end, but then maybe I could do a little more. I'll turn this off. Okay, somewhere around here. Let's try it again. Cursor to selected, and then object set origin to 3D cursor. Okay, and then I'm going to get rid of this. All right. So the reason why I did that was because now what I'm going to do is I want to start placing these bolts all over the place, right? And if I have the origin all the way in the end, then it's just going to snap on the end of this mesh, and that might expose some open areas. But if I have it a little scooched inside, then these bolts will jam inside every mesh, and it will hide. It should be able to hide these open edge. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rotate this upwards. Look at that, Control A and apply the rotation and scale. So then if I were to Shift D, duplicate it, and if I hold Control while holding G, or no, if I press G to move and hold Control, oh, and then make sure you go to this face and turn on the face. Okay, click on the face. Okay, so now if I press G and hold Control, it should snap onto surface. So right here, something like that. And as you can see, it's jammed in just a tad so that it won't expose the inside, right? So that's perfect. Shift D, okay, something like that. So just a tad. And then somewhere right here too, Shift D. All right, perfect, right? It's inside. Probably I could just scooch it in just a tad like that. Shift D. So there you go. So with these, I can also use it all over the body too. So if I hide the wireframe, Shift D, and then hold Control, zoom in. So like something like right here, right? So I have the normal of the height map that I did in Matplus, but then instead of using this kind of weird blob thing, if I were to just hold Control, just bring it in, yeah, it looks like this nice bolt that's inside, right? So Shift D, just kind of like place it all over the place, like this, all right? And then what's great is that if I were to click on all these, G, Z, Z, this should be able to bring it out a bit, or kind of bring it in just a tad like that, okay? So yeah, a lot better than just this blob, right? So that's something that I could also do. Cool. But before I scooch it in, I want to start bringing these pieces together here, something like this, and then also make sure this is perfect, right? And also change the origin for the rotation is going to be. So for this finger, it should be somewhere around this center of this piece right here, right? So I'm going to just select this, so that would select both ends. Cursor to selected, and then object set origin to 3D cursor. Oops. Object to set origin to 3D cursor. Okay, so by doing that, it will rotate around this cylinder. Same with here. So for this, I'm going to select these guys right here. So make sure the both ends are selected. Control cursor to selected from view, and select this piece. object set origins 3D cursor. Okay, so then this piece will rotate this way. This piece will rotate according to the joint. And now what I want to do is select this piece first, hold shift, select this last, control P, and then set parent to object, and then click on this guy next, and then this, and then this end piece, control P, set object again. So now if I were to rotate this in an x-axis, or I should say rotate this x-axis, and then if I rotate this in the x-axis, so this finger will follow to the parent of this shape right here, right? And if I were to duplicate this, shift X, and scale the root parent, then everything else will scale too. So what I could do now is I could just start scooching these guys in, and then also rotate it around so it will fit the hand, right? So R, X, this in this case Y maybe, or Z. Just kind of rotate it around. So this is gonna be a bit finicky, so I'll have to kind of play around a bit. And then again, if I were to rotate it in a different axis, you know, if I just said double press X, then it should still conform to follow the locals. So make sure to press double X, okay? But yeah, it's kind of finicky, so well, not finicky, but yeah, gonna need some time to adjust this piece to match the finger. So just give me some time. RSX. There you go. So there's one finger ready. Make sure this one's connected to the root. Now I might have to adjust the hand to, or kind of scooch the hand a bit. And for this, do I have the X? Okay. Well, I just have to do my best to adjust it as much as possible. Okay, there you go. Oh, still out. Yeah, so this is gonna take a bit. So let me just kind of get this done. Alright, so I got all the fingers in, so one last thing I want to do is scooch this in there, and then scooch this in there too, and let's see how it looks. I think this was a little lower, like that. And yeah, there you have it. So we got everything inside the mannequin, right? And one last thing I want to do is just select all the fingers, except these guys, and the hand too, and then I have this empty and the cursor in there, so I will use that as the center point. And what I'm going to do is Alt X and just mirror it, so I have the fingers, and voila, I got everything inside the mannequin. One other thing though I want to mention is that with these fingers, well, first of all, they're mirrored, so if I were to move it, it's going to mirror both sides, which I think I could live with. But the one problem I made was not moving the origin of these guys right here, right? So this I will have to change by, let's say, like selecting the center point, just kind of eyeball where the center point of where the pivot might be. So in this case, I might think it's somewhere around here, and maybe around here-ish, or maybe here, right? So by selecting that, cursor selected, maybe more on the line of, yeah, that's kind of hard. So another thing I could do probably is bring in a sphere, right? Sphere, and then place it to where I want it to rotate, so around here-ish, and then for this finger around here-ish, and then so forth. And then I'm going to cursor selected, and that seems about right. So object, set origin to 3D cursor, and that should do it. Yeah, kind of works around, but then I don't think I'm gonna like animate like crazy finger animation, but yeah, it's better than before. Object, set origin to 3D cursor, okay, and then get rid of, or delete or duplicate this guy, delete this guy, okay. See, just around here-ish, right? Cursor to selected, object, set origin to 3D cursor. Okay. So one little detail that I completely missed was that I remember putting some nuts and bolts onto this through Matplus height map texture. So if I were to go here, this is the Matplus working file, right? So under the nuts layer, I have the panel line which exists in my bake. So if I were to turn this off, you'll see so let me turn that back on. So if I turn it on, it erases, well, it erases, but it hides, but these panel lines show. So let me do that again, like that, right? So that is because I realized this is on mix and I need to choose add instead. Okay, so now it has both. So that is something that I've missed. So I need to export this again. Okay, so just doing that, and then all I gotta do is export it out. Just do export, create new materials. Okay.